Hi everyone, I'm carrying on where I left off. I've become I'm very interested in archaeology and the origin of nations and civilizations and cultures. And I think something that's really overlooked, and this sort of connects religion and faith movements across the world. If you're going to do the question of origin versus the Big Bang, I don't know what other theories, natural selection and evolution. And so, as a creationist, um, the first civilization acknowledged by archaeologists and scientists was Mesopotamia. Um, as, as I mentioned, um, flanked by the delta formed by the Pishon, the Gion, the Euphrates, and the Tigris River, and this area is in Iraq. So we have our first civilization was what is now today Iraq. It was then called Mesopotamia, and this is commonly agreed upon by archaeologists, scientists, etc. And it also coordinates with the first the story of creation. Mesopotamia specifically is named. So that takes us to our common ancestors. There's a lot to be gleaned from the story of creation and the creationist story. There are so many faiths and so many religions that have as Abraham as a common ancestor, the patriarch Abraham, who was born in Ur, a city that still exists in modern day Iraq. So up until Abraham, all God's people, according to the creation story, were all living in the area of Iraq and what was formerly Mesopotamia, and then became the Babylonian Empire, followed by Persian Empire. By the Second Testament, the Roman Empire was the dominant empire. So if the story begins here in Iraq, and there's so little acknowledgement of this, when the creationist story begins here, and there are all these links with its Catholicism and Christianity, Orthodox Judaism, Islam, um, all have these commonalities and this common ancestor Abraham. And up until from Adam to Abraham, there were a couple of generations. So Abraham was the first to leave and move west towards Canaan, um, drove out the Canaanites, and that was the start of Israel. So he moves from Ur in Mesopotamia, later Babylon, later Persia. So, so he moves from Ur, in which still exists in Iraq, as I say, or mentioned, and he becomes the father of Israel, the Hebrew nation. He moves to Hebron. He also spends time in Egypt. So, it must be something behind this. I mean, my faith is certain, but obviously, I'd like to study these things and to work out. So we have a lot in common, all the uh, Christianity, Islam, Orthodox Judaism, Catholicism, many faiths linked to the same um, story surrounding creation happening in the Garden of Eden in Mesopotamia, Iraq, now formerly Mesopotamia, now Iraq. There must be something behind it. Well, anyhow, it's a wonderful story. I mean, overlooking Iraq, they've done archaeological digs in Iraq, and obviously that gets done all the time. Archaeological digs, and they have found tablets and stones depicting angels. Um, so I mean, I don't know anything about religions of the Far East, but certainly in the Middle East, the story actually starts in the Middle East, the creation story. It depends on what you believe, but I'm not. I'm telling you. I'm just giving you some facts here. These are facts. This is where the cradle of civilization was Mesopotamia, which was in the area of Iraq, and then this common patriarch we all have, Abraham, Noah, all came from what is today modern day Iraq. Thank you for listening to me. Oh, and something else that should mention is that throughout the Old Testament, you find that the there was a good relationship between the Persians and the Jews. Often, when the Babylonians carried the Israelites away, there were kings that were acted very favorably towards the Jews, allowed them to build their temple, supported them. There was Cyrus, there was Xerxes, there was Artaxerxes, there was Darius, there was Nebuchadnezzar. Amazing story. So they have this commonality, and they certainly have documented knowledge and documented history pertaining to the creation story, and there are a lot of similarities, which makes it superbly and sublimely interesting. It's very interesting, and yeah, that's why I'm sharing it. It's always to thinking that it all started in Iraq. Christianity can be traced back to Iraq, sort of in a roundabout way. Okay, thank you. That now really is the end. Thank you for listening to me. Goodbye.